it's Debbie with Pip's Corner. Welcome back. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to start a series on using fabrics and fabric related trims like ribbons and laces and things in your journal. I'm going to do that series while I'm working on decorating for the Dragonfly journal. I've sort of gotten some of my signatures together. I'm not done, but I've got an idea of what I want to do. And so as I kind of begin to flip through these pages and work on decorating them, I will use lots of fabric. So today I'm going to make a belly band, and here's what I've got. This is a printout. This project is a design team project for Poppiness, for Susan Taylor Brown. Poppiness is her Etsy shop. And this is one of the kits I'm using of hers is Sea Bright. And this is just a piece of the Sea Bright printed out, and I glued it onto some craft cardstock and trimmed it down to the height of my page and the width a little bit wider than this, which is a piece of ribbon. This had wire on the edges, and while I could leave it on, I went ahead, I decided to pull the wire out. So now it's just this beautiful kind of piece of ribbon, and it's flexible. And then I have a vintage handkerchief here. See if you can see that. It's so pretty. That I'm going to use as well. What I'm thinking is something along the lines of that goes there. This comes around here, and it ends up being a piece kind of like that. Sort of a collaged fabric piece. Something like that. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is affix this ribbon to the piece of paper I've got here. And I don't need quite this much, so we're going to trim her off about right here. And I'm going to do some sewing, I think. So, don't necessarily need to, whoops, I trimmed that off too long, didn't I? All right, let's start there. Let's start with flipping this. I'm going to put this on the back. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue to hold it here for now. And try to get it in the center. Easier said than done. Fold that over, and let's see. So I want to center that left to right. That's close. Let's glue that down. Now I could, as I'm looking at this, I could create a double belly band where I have belly band here and then another one here, but I'm not going to. I could, but I'm not going to. Okay, let's see. Now I want to kind of glue this down a little bit. And I need to wipe my glue. There we go. The thing with Fabri-Tac, and this is a fairly thin sort of piece of ribbon, not a whole lot of thickness to it. I have others that are thicker, but this one is thin. So what I'm going to do is just put this on here pretty lightly. Normally I glue the heck out of things, but I don't want this to bleed through. So I'm going to put this on light, and then I'm going to go over it and sort of smear it with my finger before I lay it down. And that does help to prevent it from bleeding. I said I'm going to go light, and I just keep going. So I'm just going to take my fingers and kind of smear this down in hopes of preventing bleeding. Okay. And now we'll just go, whoops. We'll try to go straight. Trying, not succeeding. Get close. Not too bad. I got a little tiny bit of bleed right up here, but I'm not too worried about it. Most of this is going to be, or a lot of this is going to be covered anyway, I think. And then I'm just going to flip this back down. If this were a really thick piece of ribbon, I would probably just cut it straight across on the edge. But since it's not that thick, I think it'll be fine as, there we go. And now we've got some fabric on the cardstock. Now I'm going to run, I think I'm going to run a couple stitches down that. I just have to decide if I want to do it before or after. I'll do it after. Run some stitches through here. Yeah, I think I'll do it after I add the doily or handkerchief. Okay, next up, I'm going to trim this off, and then I'll have all this wonderfulness left over to use for other pieces, but I want to go slightly, let's try that. I'm going to go slightly wider than what I need, and I'm going to try to cut it sort of straight. Not sure that I'm succeeding, but see, and then now I have all of this extra that I can do for other fun things. And we're going to put this somewhere. No, I didn't cut that straight, did I? That's okay. Straight cutting, that's a thing. People actually can do that. Yeah, I'm going to do something like that. Pretty. And let's come out back here, and I'm going to just add some glue here just to tack it on. So I'll just run a little strip right down here, right? Let's see if I'm sorry, I may not be in frame. Run a little strip right down here. My glue will come out. There she goes. Just so that I can tack this on the back. And I'll trim that up later. Okay, let's make sure that we're about where we want to be. Let's pull this just a little bit more out. Whoops. There. How's that? Okay. So let me just tack this, and I'm just going to trim this up back here just so there's not stuff hanging out. Let's see, catch that right on the, there we go. And likewise here, I think I want to trim that off. And those are big, good little pieces to use on tags and things like that, under buttons, stuff like that. Okay, now let's trim a little bit of this off. Just because there's way more back here than I need. Okay, there we go. And now I think what I'll do is tack this down a couple spots with just a little bit of art glitter glue. Just take the cap off, just so that it doesn't move on me when I'm sewing and stuff. So I'm just going to take a couple of little highlights here and just put some dabs in spots, kind of come down the edge, some of these fatter spots here. Okay. right, now it's ready to sew. What I'm going to do is run a strip. I'm going to run a seam maybe straight right here and right here. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. If you hear a baby crying in the background, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just doing tummy time and he doesn't like it. Okay, so I went in and I add some sewing. I did a little zigzag here, little zigzag here, otherwise some straight stitches. And then as I was looking at this, I felt like it needed something else. So I dug through my buttons and found a button that is a nice color match. And so I'm going to just glue that little guy on there. And that way there won't be any threads in the background. I mean, I could sew it on, but I'm not going to. I just added some threads to the buttonholes just so that we weren't empty buttonholes. And I'm going to put that right smack dab in the middle. And I oozed out. So let me, oh, he is really mad. Not happy. Not a happy camper. Okay, there we go. That'll stick right there. Now, before I call this finished, I'm going to do one more thing. When you look at the back, I've got, just some fabric, that would be easy for something to catch as it were sliding in and out. So I want to finish that off so that I have more of a smooth belly band. And then I'll be able to either glue or sew right here and here onto the page directly. Probably glue in this case, since I've already kind of got some sewing on here. So I've cut another piece of, this is the same craft paper. It's a lightweight craft cardstock. And I've cut it slightly smaller than the actual piece. And so I'm just going to sandwich that or add that to the back, give it a nice smooth back. And then this belly band will be ready to affix. I'm not going to put it in yet just because I don't know yet where I want it. I'll kind of figure that out later, but it'll be ready to go. So glue, 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 glue. Get a nice chunk of glue in here so I can sandwich those pieces in and just snap that right on there. See if we can get it in the center a little bit. And there we go. Got a hair on my finger. Kind of smash it down here on the corner. The idea is to not create any new snags. So get my extra glue off there. And I could have also used just some regular paper or tea-dyed paper or whatever. It wouldn't even have to be tea-dyed because you're not going to be able to see this part. So you could use anything. I just happen to have some of that craft cardstock left over. It was the other half of where I had, the other part from when I had used this. So it was sitting here. So there. Now, in my book, it'll look something like, let's see. Let's just say for the sake of argument that I was going to put it here, and it would look something like that. So there you go. Nice little pretty lace fabric belly band with a vintage button and a vintage handkerchief added on to with a little bit of sewing, and simple and done. So that's that. Join me again. Watch for my channel for more. As I said earlier, as I work in this book, journal, Dragonfly Journal, I'm going to do different fabric things. I have in mind some fabric pockets and perhaps a fabric tag or a tag, maybe a mixed media tag using some fabric somewhere. And I may actually create a doily, just like a page that is a fabric doily. And then as other things come up, trim, I'll use some trims. And I want to make an envelope, which I'll use some fabric pieces and trims on too. So the point is, got a lot going, or a lot to go. This is just the start, but I'm thankful and grateful that you've joined me. And again, new subscribers, thank you so much. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, please consider doing so, and more to come. Thanks. Bye-bye.